Record. Okay, thank you for joining us. My name is Deborah Frenes Baez. A lot of you know me as Debbie, and I believe I'm recording now. Sorry, trying to get this right. I've done it a million times. And I am going to be sharing on our RE9 skincare tonight, but really quickly just to share a little bit about me and how this all got started, and then I will share about the overview of our products, ingredients. Our RE9 skincare is what I'm going to focus on tonight, and I always tie in a bit about our business, and then I can always send you info later on depending on what you need or more information. So I actually got started with my business about 4 years ago, and I was a teacher. I had my first child. Now I have two, and I was really looking to do something different. A lot of people who start this business are not looking to do anything different, but I actually was looking to do something different. The products brought me in right away, and you'll hear more about that, but the ingredient policy is something that really spoke to me. I think just growing up, I was always trying to be healthy because of my family history, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But the products definitely brought me in. The business is why I'm here 4 years later, and I love it. I have a lot of fun with it, and I have a willable business now. It's just absolutely wonderful, and I'll fill you in more on the business side of it as well a little later. But onto the products. But if something does intrigue you about the products or the business, because I know this will go out also as a recording for a lot of folks, definitely talk to the person who invited you on, and ask them how to get started with the products or the business, and we can share more info. And both are relatively simple on how to get started with products or business, or both. So I'm actually so Discover Arbonne is typically our business presentation, but we chat a little bit about the business and our company as a whole first. So hopefully you can see the screen now, and I'm just going to kind of breeze through it, but I know it's in front of you, so you can also check it out there more detailed. But our business has actually been around for 36 years, which for a lot of people is surprising, considering this says 35. We're actually going on 37 in January, so this needs to be updated, since 1980, and we are formulated worldwide. We're in the US, UK, Canada, Australia. We opened Poland last year, New Zealand in June. We opened Taiwan last month. So I think that's 7. I believe that's all 7 of us. But we have our manufacturer here in Irvine and another location in the US in each of our countries. So we are made in the USA, even though we abide by European standards. And that's something that I absolutely love. And the fact there that the European Union outlaws over 1,000 ingredients is awesome, because that's what we go by. We go by their standards, European Union standards, instead of US standards, because the US only outlaws like about a dozen ingredients. So our company motto is pure, safe, and beneficial. Pure because of the ingredients are pure, safe because it's safe to use for kids, anybody, and beneficial because they actually work. That's important to me and a lot of people, because I don't know about you, but before I found Arbonne products, I was trying a variety of products that were supposed to be quote unquote safe. And maybe they were, maybe some were not as safe as I thought. But the beneficial side, often it lacked in performance. And these products have actually shown proof that they perform. And I love that, because then I can stand behind it as well. A lot of our products, a lot of our business is focused on the RE9 anti-aging skincare, which here you see some of the products. We do have clinical trials, and that's what it's based on. So this is part of the line that I'm going to focus on a little bit later on, but just so you know, also 70% of our business comes from, maybe a little less now, because our nutrition, our healthy living is increasing a lot in popularity and sales, and just what people want to feel healthy also on the inside, and actually affects also your skin, right? So what makes us different? We call also the product advantage, and those double A's, which is our logo. Our products are plant-based. Everything is plant-based. We do have science in our products, and we really blend the best of science and nature. And the safest of science. So they're plant-based, but with the safest of science. So we take out all of the nasties, which some people say. Really the highest ingredients from around the world is our Dr. Peter Matravers truly does an amazing job. I mean, places deep down in the sea. I mean, all kinds of places all over the world just to get the purest and best of ingredients. They're pH correct, vegan certified. Vegan certification is also really important because you'll hear a lot of buzzwords like vegan or vegan friendly. The certification is a very, very stringent, difficult certification to get. And we do have that. And we've always had this ingredient policy since we began, since for almost 37 years now. But the certifications and all of that have, been a process, and it is quite a process. So I highly recommend taking a look at that because we don't test on animals, but we also don't have animal byproducts in our products. And that's something that I recommend taking a look at, Googling animal rendering plants if you're not familiar with that. Not only for cruelty reasons, that's a big one, right? If you're an animal lover, but also because, I don't know about you, but I don't want to put dead animals on my skin or my kids for a slew of reasons. But definitely look up animal rendering plants, and you'll probably be surprised and at what is in a lot of products out there and what's hidden. So we're built on a Swiss heritage to European standards. Our products are all formulated without, and this is skincare and nutrition, and really all of our products, but those are the two flagships. So we don't have gluten, including the skincare. A lot of folks don't realize that a lot of products that you put on your skin have gluten as well. And for people who have intolerances, that can also be a big deal because as soon as you put something on your skin, it takes only 26 seconds to seep in to the bloodstream. So for people who have really high intolerances to gluten, they will also notice a difference when they are using or not using products with gluten. So it's not just what we consume. We don't formulate with petrolatum, which is petroleum. It's basically also has a variety of code names. So I always share with people, look up petrolatum, mineral oil, and look up the code names. I apologize for the screaming kids. One of the things about this business and the beauty of this business is I can do it I can work my business from the house, just close the door. But they're having a lot of fun right now. So mineral oil, look it up. There are a lot of code names out there, and a lot of products have mineral oil, and it's basically just petroleum that has been distilled many times, but it comes down to still being a petroleum ingredient that also can cause a slew of problems. It's not only a toxin for us, but can also cause sometimes a lot of these ingredients is what causes acne or wrinkles. Actually, mineral oil is the second leading cause of the early onset of aging, the first being the sun. So we want to protect ourselves with something that's safe. But petroleum mineral oil is also the second leading cause. So we're going to wrinkle, but we don't need to wrinkle faster. And mineral oil also causes hormone imbalances. So that's also something to be aware of. And that actually is a very serious issue. So I recommend taking a look at that for sure. Again, no animal byproducts. We don't have formaldehyde. That should really just go on our body when we're ready to go into the casket, perhaps. But a lot of baby products also have formaldehyde. We don't have chemicals, dyes, fragrances, nothing artificial, no artificial colors, sweeteners, flavors, no parabens, no phthalates. So the list is quite long of what we don't have. And that's what makes this pure, safe, and beneficial. So what you see here is the entire RE9 skincare line. You see it twice, actually. You see the morning routine and you see the nighttime routine. The nighttime routine includes an extra step, which is the Genius resurfacing pads. So I have the skincare regimen in front of me. I'm not sure if you guys can see that very well, but this, for example, is the first one you see there. And this is typically when I'm in your home, or some of you have hopefully a set in front of you, or a sample, or it's in the mail. So if you have or haven't tried it, you might have the minis if you have a sample, or you might have an actual tester set, or maybe you already have your set. But this is what the anti-aging skincare line is, and this is what I typically have people try live in person. But hopefully you'll get to try it soon if you haven't already. But I have to tell you guys, and I'll pause for a quick second, because I was really happy that the products were safe and and do not have all of those ingredients that we just talked about. But but I really wanted the products to also work. So cierra la puerta, baby. Gracias. Cierra la puerta. So I wanted the products to also work, and that made me happy that the products were actually working. We first tried them on my sister, who's a couple years older than me, and we both started using the products about 4 years ago. So I'm 38 now. I was 34. My sister's 40 now. She was 36. So we were 34 and 36. Now we're 38 and 40. Yeah, 30 and 40. And at first I was just happy that they were safe, but I also wanted them to work in order to be able to stand behind them. So my sister was my first guinea pig. And I loved that her rosacea went away, her acne went away, she stopped taking acne medication. We noticed a difference in her dramatic T-zone. And I started to notice a difference also. My husband actually started to notice the difference in my skin, which was nice. The fine lines, the 11s, the spots from pregnancy, dark circles, all of that really started to diminish. So I was excited that they actually did what they said they were going to do as well. And mind you, then we didn't even have the Genius pads. So the first step here, as you probably have already checked out, is the cleanser. It's super kind of creamy-ish. It's not, all of our products have a lot of vitamin C in them. That most people love the way they smell because it doesn't have anything artificial in it. So you wash your face with this one, you wet your face, then you work it in, and literally a piece size of all of the products is enough. So they last a long time. So that's the thing. It's an investment in something that honestly, these products last a long time. So a little bit does go a long way. The next step is the toner, and this one is a spray. And I also spray this sometimes. Sometimes that one's out actually. I spray it sometimes just to freshen up, like in the middle of the day. But 1 or 2 sprays is enough for your entire face. And if you have the sample, it's really liquidy because it's not a spray in the sample. It's really small. So if you have the sample, put that on a like a cotton pad or something like that. So the next step is the serum. Personally, I actually include a lift gel here, and this is often a free gift for people who are becoming a preferred client or a consultant, either way. But this is an add-on. You don't see that in front of you, but the lift gel is amazing. I highly recommend it. It really does feel like it tightens and lifts almost instantly. It's kind of crazy. This is a super favorite. But I, during the day, use the lift gel, and at night use the serum, but you can use both as well. The lift gel is absolutely amazing. And the serum, a lot of folks, we have estheticians who also do our business and have educated me. I didn't know the first thing about all of this before. I just use it and love it and share it, and that's all I really do. But it works, and that's what matters. The serum helps for a variety of things, but one big one is spots or scarring. So that's a big one as well. But all of the ingredients are formulated to work well together. So really they have a synergistic approach where that's why they work well together. Individually, they're great. They're fantastic for replacing other products that are perhaps toxic or not working as well, but you're going to get the best results obviously when you have the entire system. So the eye cream, we have 2 different eye creams. And I need to pull up my other day cream, but we have 2 different eye creams, and the set can either come with this one or with the blue line. You don't see the blue line here, but both eye creams are fabulous. We always use the ring finger, which has the least resistance, to dab around your eye, because it's the area with super thin skin, and you want to be super gentle. Anything left over, you can go around your lips, because some of us get lines there as well. I think this really has in large part helped with my dark circles, and that my husband actually noticed right away. I think like under a month, he noticed the dark circles going away. The other eye cream, I use one morning and night, but if you choose to use the lifting and contouring eye cream, which there are samples of this as well, This one helps maybe for advanced aging, or even if it's not advanced aging, a lot of just crepiness, the sagginess around the eyes, that sort of thing. That is amazing for that one, and I love the packaging. And then the last step during the day is the day cream, which has SPF, and you can either use the extra moisturizer or the regular. When it starts to get the weather gets cold like this, I switch to extra moisturizer. But these days I'm actually using also the Nourishing Facial Oil, which is an add-on as well, or this one comes with the set that comes with the Ultra Genius, and I'll talk about that later on. But I'm using the Nourishing Facial Oil right now a lot because of the weather. So the extra moisturizer helps. At nighttime, after you cleanse, this is when we use the resurfacing pads, and they're really they're pads, literally. This one's almost empty, but you take out the little pad and you literally, it's like resurfacing your skin. It's like, it's working at the lower level. So it's like the best exfoliator on the planet. It's amazing. It really it works at the dermis level, the lower level, instead of the epidermis, which is a higher level. So that's why you only use it, or the upper level, that's why you only use it at night. And you definitely always want to use something with SPF, but because this is like almost taking off like a layer of skin, it's helping with everything really, wrinkles, acne. When I feel like I'm starting to get one little bit of acne or something like that, I just kind of go double up on that part of my face, and it's just gone by the next day. It's pretty awesome. And then lastly, at night, instead of the day cream, use the night cream, which it's a night repair cream, and truly it repairs your skin. I mean, most people just feel like it really hydrates your skin, and overnight it really feels like it is repairing your skin. So one last thing as far as the system goes, it may seem like a lot. Honestly, for me, it did in the beginning, and then I use it. It really just takes a couple minutes, the way it says there. So it doesn't feel like it takes all that long. The newer product is our Ultra device, the Ultra skincare device. And this is pretty awesome as well. It uses ultrasound waves. I use this, you can use it morning and night. I religiously use it at night, and I do my best to use it in the morning as well. It just depends on time, but it has a timer on it. And the ultrasound wave just does a far better job at getting the product in and deep, and just better results, faster results, because our skin and our fingers can only do so much with product. But the ultrasound wave, which is super safe, way safer than what we even use on our bellies when we're pregnant for baby. The ultrasound wave, it just does far more than we could ever do. So people are seeing amazing results with this as well. And I use this typically just right before the final step. So I use it right before the day cream or the night cream. Definitely must be before day cream, because it cannot be used on top of SPF. So that's the only thing. So I just use it before my day cream or my night cream. And I do about a minute on each major section. I use it on my neck as well, and I use our night cream. I don't have my night cream here. It's over in my bathroom, but that's the regimen. Go and try it. If you're recording, if this is a recording for you, you can pause and go and try it, and then come back if you'd like. That's what we typically do live. So if you thinking if you want to host, for example, something, whether online or in person, that's kind of what we typically do. So this is where folks will typically feel and start to see. And if you are trying this at home and have this recorded, then try washing your face with the cleanser and do the rest of the steps on half your face, so that you can feel and see the difference, because most people do feel and see the difference almost right away. So do that at home. It's a lot of fun too. So a bit on the business, and then I'll tie up with how you can work with Arbonne, and I will send out any sheets to help explain a little bit about discounts as well. I'm going to take a drink of my Energy Fizz. 1 second. Which nutrition line, by the way, is one of my favorites. And the Energy Fizz, I cannot live without. That is by far my favorite product out of our entire catalog, because I cannot live without it. I was driving home right now and I was starting to get tired. And so I quickly mixed an energy fizz, and it just it brings me back to life, and it doesn't have a crash like coffee does. It's the healthy energy drink. It just gives you a nice natural energy that you're supposed to have. It puts you in a good mood because it has guarana. It's just awesome. By far my favorite. And the nutrition line overall has a lot of my favorites as well. Oh, and let me point out one other favorite. We have a ton of products, obviously, but this product is our primer, and even people who don't use makeup love it and use it after their moisturizer. It's like silk in a bottle. It's amazing. Even people who don't wear makeup wear it because it got a write-up like in Vogue magazine or some big magazine. I'm not sure. We don't pay for advertisements, but people often do write-ups on our products, which is nice, free advertising as well. But it got a write-up for one of the products that helps control oil the most, something like that. So I have people who use it just for that matte finish. I use it just because it helps my makeup go on super smooth. I can't not wear primer now. I never used primer before. It's amazing. It also helps my makeup. I feel like I don't need touch-ups throughout the day. So one of my favorites for sure. And from, like I said, the energy fizz as well. A lot of other favorites. But anyway, so onto the business. The business is something that I always share with folks because I never know who might be open to another stream of income, or whom you know that might be as well, or somewhere down the line, you never know. And I don't know about you, but I had a very skewed image of what network marketing was. I had a very antiquated view of it. And I realized that I just didn't know enough, and I didn't know enough about business, and I didn't know enough about network marketing as a whole. And once I did my research on it, what I learned is just phenomenal, and I'll share a little bit about it. That I really had to do this business, and I absolutely love it now. It's really been life changing. Honestly, it has. And not that life was bad; it was good, but I didn't realize that my life really could, be on path to greatness. And really, I feel like it is now. And what it really allows us to do, it allows us to really take ownership, because it's a matter of having control over your time. And for me and a lot of folks who go into network marketing is because time is really of the essence and the most important currency to us is time, because that's something we can never get back. And I didn't mention this in the beginning. I often do, because it's also related to why I started this business. But to me, it's really important because when I was 7 years old, my father passed away from a heart attack. And so I do think, and I do know that time can be taken from us. It can be taken from us overnight, and just not, you just really don't know. So time is really the best currency and the most important, I think, I know, to all of us. But the products brought me in also because of my dad's passing, because of, I think that's why I really began the journey of health for my entire life, since the time I was 7 years old. And when I became pregnant, I started to learn what was in products. So it's really all related. But now I get to leverage my time, and I get residual income. And this is what our business model allows us to do. So it allows us to teach other people how to do what we do, and they in turn teach other people to do what we do. And that allows me to leverage my time. So there may be somebody on my team somewhere, maybe out of state, maybe in state, I don't know, who is sharing the Arbonne story like I am with you. And I commission from anything that my team does as well. And it just, it's like a ripple effect. That's how I get to leverage my time. I get residual income because our products are all consumable, with the exception of the Genius Ultra, but everything else, all however many 400 or so products, are consumable. So I get residual income because people rebuy and they love the products, and they rebuy, and they go online and they punch it in, and it goes directly to their home, because this is the technology era, right? This is what we want. We want it simple. We want to order online. We want to do our shopping click of a button and it's at our door in a few days. It's really the wave of where we're going. And that's how I get residual income also. People rebuy. So that's pretty awesome. And I didn't know the first thing about residual income or time leveraging when I was a teacher. But I did know that as a teacher, I taught other people how to teach, but I didn't get paid on that. And I didn't, and now I teach people how to do this business and I do get paid on it. So to me, it's really fair. It's a fair business. We work part-time, we get paid often full-time, or we work towards that. So I'll show you guys the income in a bit, but overall, that's the big one for me. Doing something part-time and being able to replace an income or work towards that is phenomenal, because I couldn't do this for a business that didn't have amazing products, but at the end of the day, the business is honestly our best product and is the most life-changing. So the first time I heard about this business, I wanted to know what the income looked like. And I'm going to give you a range because it gives you a better idea. These are monthly averages and it depends on the person. It depends, and the average time to position, I almost want to cover that because it just totally depends on the person. These are really just averages, but I'll give you a range to give you a better idea. There are 4 levels of management. And again, keep in mind that every level, everything is part-time. Most people start their business maybe carving out about 10 hours a week. And although that is time, I get it. Who has time to just do, just too much time. I don't know anybody that does, but when we carve out the time now, it's a sacrifice now for to later on have more options and have more time freedom and have more financial freedom perhaps later on. So I do know it's a sacrifice and it is an investment of time. But to me, I believe it's worth it. And I think you'll see that as well. So there are only 4 levels of management. Again, part-time hours, say anywhere from 10 to 15 hours a week. And district managers, I teach people to get there in 1 to 3 months. I got there in about 2.5 months. And the average really can be anywhere from a couple $100s a month up to about $1,000 a month. So I think the average is really more like 500. But even if it was a few $100s a month for something that you were doing, honestly, at that point, it's probably less than 10 hours a week. And some of it is maybe like this online. And in either the nooks and crannies or carving out a short period of time in your day while you're perhaps, next door to your kids or while they're, having a play date or whatever. But a few $100s, it said that the average person goes bankrupt or loses their home often because all they really needed was an extra $300 to $500 a month. So that can make a big difference for a lot of people, right? And maybe some people think that they don't need it, but the reality is even if somebody doesn't need a few extra $100 a month, somebody else does, right? So maybe it's your favorite philanthropy or somebody helping, a parent or helping a sibling or helping somebody else in need, somebody in your community. So yeah, I think everybody can use a few extra $100 a month, regardless of how much people make. The second level is area manager, and area managers, we make anywhere from about $1,000 a month up to about $4,000 a month. So even if you took the average, say $1,500, $2,000 a month, that can be a mortgage. This is where, think about what that can do for you and your household and what options that can create for you. If you had that coming in every month and it was something that you did on the side, part-time, and oftentimes, around your family or whatever you have going on, or oftentimes alongside a part-time, a full-time job is often what happens. This is also where we have a willable business, and this is really unique and honestly very special. And I think one of the big reasons why I am a definite lifer with Arbonne is I have a business that I can will now. And that means that if something happens to me, I can write my business into my will. So up to 6 generations would receive my entire commission. So think about a typical job. if something happens to the person, like when I was a teacher, if something were to happen to me, my commission would stop and nobody would get it. My salary would stop. It wouldn't continue. My monthly salary or biweekly salary would not continue to my family. If once I'm no longer on the planet, it would simply stop. Maybe there's life insurance, 1 or 2 lump sums, but this is your full commission. And even if it grows, because your clients might continue to purchase, your network, your team will probably grow, then that commission, even if it grows, continues to your family every month, indefinitely for up to 6 generations. That to me is reason enough for everybody on the planet to have an Arbonne business, because when my father passed away, we didn't have a plan B. We went from working class income to 0 income overnight. And I think most people, unfortunately, are not prepared with a plan B just in case. But this started as a plan B and now really has become both my plan A and B. So I think that's super special. And for me, coming from a teacher background on the higher end, there are teachers who bring home less than that, when the higher end here is about 4,000. So that can really start to create options for a lot of people. The third level is regional vice president, and this is, we call it the car level. You see a Mercedes-Benz there. Honestly, I never thought I needed or wanted a Mercedes-Benz. I was just kind of ready to let go of my car, and that way I could be present with my kids and I have to pay for a car and things like that. But the reality is, my husband said, in LA, you kind of need a car. But for Arbonne to pick up the tab on a car, I mean, that's pretty amazing. I mean, who does that? And it's Mercedes because it's supposed to be one of the safest vehicles out there. White for purity, just like our products are pure. But this is where I really realized, not so much the car, but what it symbolizes, that our business is really grander than I thought. Then I realized is when my sponsor, for example, already paid off her car, because you buy it or lease it or whatever, it's under your name. They send you an extra $800 a month for you to make your payment, as long as you're maintaining that level. And once her car was paid off, Arbonne continued to send her the $800 a month. And she started to save that for her kids' activities, because we know those are expensive if you have kids, and for their college education. And then she had one 3 or 4-year-old, I think, and now she has 2 kids. And I just think that's phenomenal. That's when I realized that this was also my college savings plan for my kids. I was just trying to figure out how to pay my own teacher loans and that sort of thing. So it really is a lot more, I think, than people realize. But the average here is about $5,000 a month, on up to about $10,000 a month. Again, doing something part-time. And at this point, a lot of people maybe have more options. Some people do choose to retire from their job, but some people absolutely love what they do. And some people just choose to scale back and do it on their terms, maybe working less. I know a lot of physicians, assistants, and doctors who do this business and who still do their work, but work a lot less in their field. And I know Dr. Laura Fortner, who actually does her medical work now through missionary work, because Arbonne has replaced her income. So it just really gives you more options, right? And the fourth and final level is national vice president. And this is, the income is about, on average, $20,000 a month. It's really unlimited income potential. There are people in this business who make 6 figures a month. And I know that sounds crazy, but to really wrap your brain around that. Oh, and by the way, there's $1,000 cash Mercedes bonus towards your car at this level. And you can earn trips. And, right now we're working, they just announced our next trip for October. So next October, our trip that we're working towards earning is to the Maya Riviera. So that's exciting. Having a trip paid for by your company is pretty awesome. But national vice presidents, again, there's no cap. I knew as a teacher how much I was going to make for the rest of my life, and I knew how long I was going to do that, and how much time I would put into that. Here, there's really no cap. You get to decide, and it's just fair how you work, and if it's just fair. You get paid on your effort. It's not, unlike a lot of JOBs. But the amazing thing in Arbonne is also that a lot of people maybe start this to be present with their kids, like I did, or to, whatever it might be. It's often a vehicle to fund a passion, maybe in the arts or something, or to start a different business. It's often a vehicle to do something to fund their passion. My current passion is to be present with my kids, but a lot of people in Arbonne at this level, and then again, the income is limitless. So once their family and all that is taken care of, a lot of folks just do so much philanthropically, and that I love, because that's really what gets me going. And I realized that that's really why I was put on this planet, to do something for a greater good. While I was teaching, I loved working with community and students. It was very rewarding, but I was also stressed and overworked, honestly. But I still wanted to do something for the greater good. Never did I think it'd come wrapped in an Arbonne package, but it did. And I love what I do on a daily basis, because I'm teaching people about health and wellness. But I'm also teaching people how to take hold of their life and build a life where they have time options, time freedom, and financial freedom. And now I know that I can also contribute to the greater good, because I have a long list of philanthropies that are near and dear to my heart, and I work with a couple every year. But for me, the big one is bilingual education, and that's where I know where my heart is. A lot of national vice presidents do a lot of amazing work. They fund orphanages around the world. Just so much going on philanthropically, and that's that. I think at the end of the day is what is one of the best things about our business. But the final thing I'll say that is one of my favorites about our business is the personal development. And we say we're disguised as a product business, an amazing product business that actually works. But at the end of the day, we're really a personal development business. And that, I think, is super testament, because I've met some of those most amazing and empowering people in this business. A lot of women, but more and more men are joining our business now. A lot of couples are doing this business together. But the most amazing people, empowering, and even if you're not in the same team, just everybody wants to see you succeed. It's really about leadership development and becoming a better version of who we were meant to be. And that in turn helps everything in our lives, not only our friendships, relationships, our mental stability, often our mindset, but also our business. And we really are a belly to belly building relationships sort of business. So I love that as well. But if anything about the business or the products, intrigues you, then get with the person who invited you on. And the last thing I'll leave is that to national vice president, it's typically on average in our organization 3 to 5 years. And I invite people to take a look back 3 to 5 years, or even 5 to 10 years. Look back, 5 years in your life, and look forward 5 years, and think about where you want to be, what your ideal life would look like, what you wanted your life to look like. A lot of people can predict, but what if this business does work? I think a lot of people tend to ask the other question, what if it doesn't work? Or what if I don't succeed? Well, the startup is minimal. It's $79. You really have nothing to lose. My first little paycheck was more than that, but you have obviously a lot to gain, and it's not about the money, but it's about the time. So think if this were a 5-year project, 3 to 5 years. There are people who've gone to national vice president in months, but say on average 5 years. It's an investment. But honestly, there are people who surf the web for 10 hours a week or watch TV. So what if you invested some time into a business that's a digital franchise? It's not a sell business. We stop buying products that you're probably buying anyway from somewhere else. We start buying them from our own digital store, and then we share them with others. And that's what we do. At the end of the day, we use and share products. That is what we do. Some people just buy, and some people run with it and get the concept of redirecting their spending. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. But what if in 5 years of investing 10 to 15 hours a week, you could have the time flexibility, the financial freedom, and the time freedom? what if? So I invite you to take a look and to ask questions and to ask and to let the person who brought you on know where you see yourself. Do you see yourself as a client or a client, which you can be a client and pay retail, but we don't really let anybody pay retail. You could become a preferred client and get 20% off. It's like a membership, $20 for the year, and you get 20% off all year. Or you can get the sets at 40% off as a preferred client as well. And you get a free product, which is valued around $50. So it's definitely worth it. So the sets, for example, the retail ranges like in the 400, somewhere around there. But at 40% off for a preferred client, the RE9 set that you see there that we talked about for preferred clients, I'm going off the top of my head. I have it down here somewhere, but if in the 200 range, 255, I believe, for preferred clients. So you get 40% off the set, which is a great route if you just want to buy. If you want to become an independent consultant, then you can get 35% off just buying products a la carte, or up to 50% off your set. So your set ends up being, I think, 218, 213, 211, somewhere around there. For your set. So you get 50% off a set. Yes, it is a $79 sign-up fee, but then you get a gift valued up to, it could be up to $106 worth. So I feel like it's a wash. Your sign-up fee ends up being kind of like a wash. And this is where you can, we can teach you about how to earn the Mercedes-Benz, the personal growth development, all of that. And you don't just get a box and we say, go, you're on your own. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. There's just a huge network of amazing people who mentor you and really want to help you succeed. So it's simple. I'm not going to say it's easy, because if it were easy, then everybody would be driving a Mercedes-Benz paid for by Arbonne. But it's simple. At the end of the day, it's simple what we do. The challenging part is really the personal development part, for sure. And getting over the hesitations of whatever it might be, of I don't have time, or I don't have money, or I don't know people, or what will people think? At the end of the day, most people don't pay your bills, and and I'm okay. The products work. I love them. People ask about them all the time. They asked about skin. They ask about health, because I've had 2 kids and they're both pretty little. So people ask anyway. Most people take part in this type of a model anyway. It's just you're not getting paid on it. You already share and recommend things that you love, and you pay somebody else for products. Why not redirect your spending to your own store of amazing products and get paid to use your own products and shop from your own digital franchise and teach other people to do the same thing? So that is what independent consultant really comes down to. And obviously the best route. And then we get the most amazing deals and tax write-offs and blah, blah, blah. Or if you want to host, you can do neither of the other options and host, or you can do one of the other options and host. But hosting doesn't cost you anything in itself. You can basically get people onto an online event like this, or share this with people. And as long as we're the consultant who introduced you is able to connect with that person, or if you do this live in your home and we can actually try the products there, that's a lot of fun too. Invite people over, or just meet up online, then you can get some free products as well, and great discounts. So that's another route. And I believe that is all. So I just like to leave you with that. I'll reiterate that last question is, if, instead of asking yourself, what if this business doesn't work, ask yourself, what if it does work? The products for sure do. And I know you'll see that, but get with the person who invited you, and the actual discount sheets with specifics can be sent to you digitally so that you can have that. Okay. Thank you guys for getting on, and I will pause the recording. And for people who are on live, if you have any questions, we will get to that. So let me do that.